If you want to be known and respected for your expertise and earn more from it over the next 3, 5, 10, 20 years, then there are 3 fundamental building blocks you need to have in place so that all the hard work that went into making you become the expert that you are pays off. And now is the time. Why? Because Zuckerberg recently said that by 2026, which is very, very soon, it's the beginning of August right now, all of Meta's ads are going to be created by AI. Why should you care about this as an expert? Why is it important? And more importantly, what can you do about it? Well, that's what this video is all about. I was going to record it over there where the cows are. There's a cow that's decided to go exactly behind. Oh my goodness, I am surrounded. My whiteboard is still there. They're licking it. I hope the words are still on it. So I'm going to give them a wide berth for now because I was being shoved out of the way. It looks like they're eating my bag, but hey, that's a story for another time. There are 3 fundamental building blocks you need to have in place so that you have options and the right opportunities come to you in your lifetime. Why do I get to talk about this? My name is Nima. I have spent 30 years on global TV. My last program went out to 200 million people. Why is this important? Because I interviewed people who are at the top of their game running companies and countries, and I know what sticks in people's minds, what gets cut and deleted, and I want you to know how to decide what to say so that what you say does not get forgotten or left on the cutting room floor. So I'm a global broadcaster. I've spent decades on stages across the world, speaking, chairing, moderating, interviewing people at the top of their game. And again, I know how people, well, they think they're doing a great job by sharing their latest project or offering, but in fact, it's the worst thing they can do. And I'll explain why in a bit. And the third thing I want to share is that, I've spent decades teaching people at the top of their game to communicate with impact and influence. These people know that influence is your power base, and I want you to have the same knowledge too. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the 3 building blocks, and if I get to go back to my whiteboard, I'll show you what I mean. But first I want to share 3 F's that are really important to me. It gives you a sense of what I'm about and whether or not you want to keep listening. My first F is F for freedom. The freedom to work the way I want to, where I want to, not always from a field, and with the people I want to be around. And it's about deciding who I don't want to work with. That's the best route to being really, to define what you want for yourself. So freedom is really important to me, especially as a single parent. Being able to be location agnostic has always been important. But you know what? It's also based on decades of having a suitcase, a carry-on case, packed and ready, because I would fly out to a different country every few days for decades. Didn't make for much of a social life, I can tell you that much. And I realized that, wait a minute, the people I'm serving, the companies I'm serving, the places I am, then my values don't always align with them. So I wanted the freedom to still earn on my terms and be able to say no to opportunities and situations that I was not interested in. Maybe you value freedom highly too. I equate freedom with dignity as well. You want to have the dignity to say no to a situation that is rubbish for you. And that could be because, well, a client of mine, for example, she left her high-flying job because one of the reasons was that her company's values didn't align with her. She had to sugarcoat issues and she didn't feel good. She was losing sleep over it. She left and she got in touch after she left. If she knew the things that I'm going to share with you today, she would be able to immediately step into the next thing that she wanted for herself. She is doing that kind of now because we've been working together for a couple of months, but she's actually building these building blocks, the ones I'm going to take you through, so that she has the options and opportunities that she wants more of in her life. So that's the first F, F for freedom. Second F, F for fun. In fact, it's F for joy. I want a daily dose of joy, and it could be birdsong, it could be being out in the open like this, it could be whatever it is that gives me joy. I want to have the freedom, the opportunity to have my dose of daily joy. I'll tell you something, I don't give a shit about enabling more companies to profit more, but I do give a damn about people, the people who work in the companies. I want the people who work in the corporate world and people who work for themselves, people to know that you have choice in your life. You can decide how you want to show up, how you want to earn, as long as you do specific things and have specific building blocks in place. But it's the idea of you get to decide. You can decide. So many people don't realize this. It kills me. It's because we're conditioned not to think like this, so that you serve the paymaster. Okay, so freedom, fun. Now the third F is fulfillment. My fulfillment comes from sharing what I know and do with you. It's the best thing I can do with my time. It's the most exciting, amazing way for me to earn and show up. By the way, if you want my help with any of this, there's a link below. Click on it. We can work together so you have your building blocks in place and can decide how to show up and share your expertise and experience. Okay, just checking on the cows. I don't know what they're doing. They seem to be actually eating my bag. So fulfillment for me comes from being able to spend time on the things that give me energy and joy. Getting on a flight, going to a windowless room for the day and training leadership in a multinational, which is also what I do on occasion, doesn't fill me with that sort of fulfillment and joy. What about you? What's your joy? What's your fulfillment? What are your 3 Fs? And are you factoring them in? Are you building them into the way you show up in the world? Or is that a next step for you? Okay, back to what this video is all about. This video, well, I'm calling this the great expert era. The great expert era, where only real experts will rise, and that'll only happen if they are known for their expertise, credibility, authority. Zuckerberg saying that AI will create all of Meta's ads by 2026 means that there's going to be more sameness and more AI generated content, well, just permeating every aspect of life. So how do you, as the expert that you are, cut through? How do you get noticed by the right people and chosen by them? Well, number one is be specific. You've got to be specific about a few things. One is, who do you want to serve? What do you want to be known for, and why should they choose you? You know, you are not the only person with your credentials, with your degree, with your job title. There are millions, if not hundreds of millions of people with the same or similar credentials. So why you? What makes you special? You know, when I would interview, okay, so I did a business and finance program on BBC World for 12 years. And it means that I got to interview heads of state, heads of multinationals, founders, experts, you name it, people at the top of their game. And most organizations, of course, would be pitching. They're pitching for business, they're pitching to be chosen, they're trying to raise their authority stakes so that when there is an option, they're top of mind. And I would ask them a really simple question, which is along the lines of, why you? Meaning, you know, when an investor or a client has the world to choose from, why should they choose you? And these heads of business, heads of industry, leaders, most of them didn't have a good answer to that really simple question. You, as an expert, you need to have a great answer to that really simple question. The person who I referred to, the client, she lost a job, a great job, because of how she answered her key interview questions, like this question. You need to have an answer to the question, and even if nobody asks you it, you need to weave in the elements of it into your interactions, because guess what? Every interaction is an opportunity when you communicate in a specific way, in a strategic way that positions you as the expert. That's what I do. I work with experts whose level of expertise is up here, experience, credibility, you name it, but the way they communicate and share it is down here. It doesn't match up. So I close that gap. You need to have that gap closed too if you want to be known and chosen for your credibility and expertise. So be really specific about what you want to be doing more of, what you want to be known for exactly, who buy, why they should choose you. Specificity equals results. Plus, when you are sharing what you know and do, when you are under the spotlight, you need to be really specific about the words that you are going to choose and use that'll appeal to, pique the interest of the stakeholder who you want on side, the person that you want a yes from. If you don't do this, nobody's listening, or the right person isn't listening. And if the right person isn't listening, you don't get that call, you don't get that opportunity, you won't be top of mind. I hear a lot of bullshit, frankly, around visibility and personal brand. And one of the things I hear a lot is, oh, just be out there, just do it and be on stage or be online. Okay, visibility is great because it makes you put the reps in to show up. Fantastic. To practice how you share what you know and do. Yes, but if you do it and you keep doing it, you attract the wrong people for you, which means that if you're saying, book a call, then the people who book the calls are going to be the wrong people for you most of the time. You want to be a filter, not a funnel. You don't want to have wide appeal. You want to push people away. Yeah, you want to push the wrong fit away. So many people are very scared of doing this because they think, oh, I'm going to lose out on a fantastic potential opportunity that I don't know exists. If it's the right opportunity for you and you do a great job of being that filter and being specific about the who's and the what, that opportunity will filter down to you when it's time. Yeah? So out with what I call busy visibility. Forget that fills up your calendar and empties out your bank account, because if you're on the wrong calls a lot of the time, or if you're taking on the wrong type of client or working for the wrong type of company, then yeah, you lose energy, sleep, you lose at some point. I'm just going to check on my bag again. Oh my goodness, they're not moving. Anywho, right, number 2 fundamental building block is connection. There are a few types of connection here. One is, I'll give you an example. A client of mine this week, he's going to be running his first workshop using my framework. He is a public speaker, he runs workshops, he's fantastic, he's got great energy, people love him, people invite him back. But he doesn't get results from these interactions, these really high visibility interactions that are the right audience for him, but he doesn't get the results from them, he doesn't get any clients from them because he's not being specific about what he does, who for, and so on, and why they should care, but also because he's not always connecting with the people in the room. So I asked him a question yesterday. I said, do you trust yourself? And he had to think about it. And I asked because he has his slides and his information, he wants to do it that way. I'm not a fan of slides. And he wants to remember the stories, the anecdotes, the examples that he's come up with, which is fantastic. Do the prep, absolutely do the prep, it's really important. But at some point you need to put that down and trust yourself. Because if you're not present in the moment, if you're not connecting with the room and the people, if you're not tapping into and feeding off of the energy in the room and the query in the room and what's gone before, and be nimble in how you respond and what you say, you lose. Connection is the thing that you want to focus on. Connection is the key thing that is the difference between people who are remembered and people who might do a fantastic job in the moment but they're forgotten. So you want to, your most important thing is, yes, do the prep, yes, have all your building blocks, but you're credible, you know what you're talking about, you have, those are your stories, right? You have the results from your clients and your other jobs, right? That's you know how to pivot to that. Trust yourself. Get rid of all the things that you're using to lean on. They're holding you back. Okay. The other type of connection is having the ability to communicate directly with people who want more from you. What do I mean? Okay, when I was being beamed out to 200 million people for 12 years, I didn't bother creating any sort of direct connection with people who were interested in what I do, interested in me, wanted more from me. And I don't mean my existing clients. So clients for me then meant governments, multinationals, event organizers. You know, I'd be fielding calls. Nima, please come and train the C-suite. Nima, please come and moderate this event and this conference, and so on. The connection that was missing for me was people who would love to be in my circle, who maybe would love to know how to moderate conferences the way I moderate them, know how to navigate media interviews or the spotlight. You know, what's the secret? How do I make sure that I don't get cut and forgotten? How do I take advantage of a high visibility moment? So when I decided that I don't want to work the way I work and I don't want to serve the people that I've been serving for decades, I had to start from scratch. Huge lost opportunity, huge waste of time and energy. And I don't want that for you. And in fact, every single expert I work with does not have this in place. And when the penny drops and they realize how important it is for them, it gives them options. And I'll explain how in a minute. How important it is, they realize that every single spotlight moment and interaction can become a connection where they get the email address of the right person for them. A client of mine, we started working together in June, no email, nothing, no email list. She was a keynote speaker at a conference in June, and we spoke this week. She's still getting emails with opportunities. People are asking her to do work for them based on the keynote and the panel discussion that she was part of in June. And that's because she created that direct connection and link. Now I know somebody, she's another client, who has tens of thousands of followers on LinkedIn, for example. Another one who has, her YouTube channel has hundreds of millions of views. Hundreds of thousands of views, yeah? But she is not benefiting financially from any of this, and she has no ability to communicate directly with the people who are her fans because she doesn't have an email list. Anyway, so the point is, the second type of connection is you want a direct link and connection that enables you to communicate directly with people who want more from you. What does that do for you? It means that one day if you want to consult, work for yourself, teach, create some sort of program, coach, you can let the right people know. You can say, by the way, if you're interested in working with me, I'm doing this. But if you don't have that direct link with them, how do you do it? Okay, you could put it on LinkedIn. You don't own that connection. You don't decide who it's sent to. LinkedIn does. And you don't want the faff of DMing every single person. Plus, who says that they're going to read it? My point is, trust me, an email list is so important. So I want you to embrace the idea that the only thing you truly own is your expertise, knowledge, experience. That's what you own. You don't own anything else. And having an email list is the way you get to trade that on your terms. That's the equation. You own your credibility, experience, expertise. And when you have an email list with the right group of people, this is your power base. This is your opportunity and option base. You get to trade that by offering a workshop. Could be the simplest thing. How many of you want me to run through this? Here we go, I'm running a workshop. It's for X amount of money, yeah? And the third thing I want to mention under connection is we want human connection. This really is the era of human connection, of needing that human-centric way of showing up. If you are great at communicating in what I call a human-centric way, again, you will rise to the top. You're going to be the expert that's chosen, that's remembered, that gets the opportunities. I'll give you an example. When I would interview people at the top of their game on stage or on TV, let me give you a specific example. Okay, so many of the multinationals and governments would want to come on the program to talk about their findings of the study or a survey that they'd conducted. And of course, they would only get on if the topic was interesting to us. And when I'd ask them an opening question, and what I wanted desperately from them was for them to say, you know what, the most surprising thing out of this was this. We didn't expect X, Y, Z. The way this links in with other things going on in the world is this, right? I'm leaning in. They're connecting things. They're not regurgitating the press release. They're not telling me the methodology, the findings, the conclusion. I can read that. I'm not interested in it. I want your insight, your opinion, your gut. What does it say to you? What does it make you feel like, oh, we're on the right path? Oh, there's a problem coming up. You know, what is that? And they wouldn't do it. I remember, was it like 2 hours or something we spent with this one guy? Poor thing, he just didn't know how to stop regurgitating the press release and just give us one line to open with that was interesting and relevant. You need to be able to do this. That's how you cut through. So it is about being human-centric. AI, use it, fine, but not to create. You want to highlight you want to connect things that don't seem connected. You want to relate things to a comment that's doing the rounds at a conference. You want to see something going on, like I'm looking at the cows just still gathered around my bag. Trying to figure out, what do I have in that bag, and make sense of it and have an idea about it, an opinion. I'll give you an example. I believe that one of the reasons that we are rubbish at communicating in a way that interests people is because of the education system. That's one of the reasons. The education system tells us, hey, if you regurgitate what's in the book, if you can cite these things, you're going to get top grade. If you can prove what you know, you're going to get those A's. But in my world, that's rubbish. It's boring. It's not what I want from you. I want you to give me, to say, you know what, I've been doing this for 30 years. And what I find is, oh, yes, please, what do you find? What's that thing, that nugget? That's what I want. And that's the human-centric connection that I want you to make. So you've got specific, be really specific. Connection, lean into the human connection, the human-centric way of sharing, and having a direct connection with the best people for you. And the third thing is this. There's a crisis, there's a trust crisis, a trust deficit. I mean, in today's world, who do you trust? What do you trust? Who do you believe? What do you believe? What's real? What's not real? Yeah, there is a trust crisis. And when it comes to experts, a lot of experts, I mean, you know this already, of course, they're jumping on the AI bandwagon, a lot of output, not really based on inside credibility. The more you lean into stacking your lived experience, so it's not just, oh, I know this because I studied it and got a great grade, or I know this information. It's about the reps, the rolling your sleeves up, the hands-on results that you got for clients and companies and where you worked. When you stack that proof, that's when you get people trusting you. The problem today is there's a lot of content and a lot of promise, but they don't deliver. Because actually, yeah, they're good at the bullshit and the finessing side of content. My battery died and the cows left, so I rescued my whiteboard. I'm going to share it with you in a minute. They trampled all over it. I was saying not all visibility is created equal. I got a client from a video that had just 20 views because the expert who watched it realized it applied to her and got in touch with us in June, and she shared with me that she's got a 6-month government contract now, a 6-month project, which is perfect for her. Plus she's getting other offers coming through as a result of how she communicated strategically and positioned herself as the expert during a panel discussion that she took part in June. Now this is the whiteboard. Here we go. The whiteboard of being trampled. You can see that was going to be specific, connection, trust, right? I'm going to end now just by saying that and I'm in a car park. At my van, I have my Nemo Mobile. It's an ancient Toyota that I love. Do you want a tour of it? I'll take a tour of it another time, because guess what? Freedom is important to me. But I just want to share that the trust deficit is your huge opportunity. If you want to be the trusted expert, you have to nail the first two, the being specific, and having the right connection. Can you see that? So it turns out that the reason that the words didn't wipe off when the cows licked them is because I made a mistake. I didn't use this, the whiteboard marker. I used the permanent marker. How fortunate to, yeah, anyway. So look, the point is this: if you want to be the trusted expert in your niche, you have to get specific, you have to get your connections, and you need to build on your credibility, authority with proof that the systems and the way you think and what you do gets results. And you know what? Doing this sort of thing, speaking off the top of your head about your expertise for whatever, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, can you do it in a structured way, in a way that people can stick with you, follow what you're saying, remember what you're saying? I suggest that you put in the reps, start doing this. You can do all of this, all 3 steps, and you still won't get results if you cannot communicate what you know and do in a brilliant way. You have to be a brilliant communicator, because that's what gets people paying attention to you, and that's how you influence them to take the next step. That's your power. The power is in being able to plant what you know and what you want people to do into people's minds. That's my fun, as you can see, yay. And I want you to embrace the 80-100 rule. 80% done is 100% awesome, okay? Too many experts I know, really clever people, they get stuck, they get in their own way, they don't share what they know and do. They're always stuck in learning phase. You know, I want to learn, I want to be the best. Forget that, just put it out. 80% done is 100% awesome. If you are the world's best kept secret, you're in trouble. If you want my help with liberating yourself from all this, click on the link below. And I'm going to share with you why I'm here in the middle of this. And I'll share the video that I really do recommend that you watch next, which is all about, okay, you know all this stuff. How do you communicate with authority? Why am I here recording in fields? Because my son is in a band and they have been part of this group who set up in the middle of a field. I love it. They had to bring in a generator and do all sorts of things. It's just here in the wilderness. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know how long my battery's going to last, but look, absolutely, isn't this great? I love this. A bunch of people getting together, supporting.